Just a reminder that I am recording. If you have to come on for any reason, I'll just take you out of the recording. It's okay. If you need to let me know that you can't hear me or you don't understand me, just come on, or you can always pop in the chat. But with this being a more active class, I might miss the chat. Okay, so let's begin seated today. Any comfortable seated position for you. And lowering or closing your eyes. And let your exhales be very dynamic and complete. As you exhale, feel your entire lung capacity emptying. And sense yourself letting go of the recent past. The day, the week, or whatever has come before now. Acknowledge the physical space that you are in. Acknowledge the virtual space that we are all in together. And honor all the people in this space. Everyone in your home and everyone in class. When you feel ready, bringing your palms out towards the sides. And on your inhale, reach your arms up into a V pose. Shoulders roll back and down. Eyes can be open or closed. In this moment, honor your creativity, your inner fire, your divine spark, and all the mystery of life. And now bringing your hands to heart center. Honor yourself. Honor where you are today, both in this space and in your life. Allowing your hands to come to your lap, palms face up towards the sky, being open to receive. Open your heart to the teachings that you will encounter today. Ask that you will recognize the teachings of the day, no matter what form they come in. And then turning your palms to face down towards the earth, maybe on your lap or on the earth. Center yourself here. Ground yourself in this moment. Feel present, alert, relaxed, and anchored in the here and now. Whenever you're ready, gently opening the windows of your eyes. All right, let's start with some movement while we are here seated. Okay, so let's bring some shoulder rolls in. On your inhale, roll your shoulders up toward your ears, and on your exhales, rolling your shoulders back and down your spine. So a couple more times here. Okay, and the next time your shoulders come back and down, allowing them to stay there. And then bringing your arms out towards the sides. So you're going to open your heart up. Imagine there's a string drawing your heart up towards the sky. And then on your exhale, rounding your spine, wrapping your arms around you as much as you feel comfortable. And just moving with your own breath. Inhale to open. And exhale to hug. Look at all these hugs we get today. All right, so let's do one more. And then coming back to center, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Okay, let's come into tabletop. Wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. So remember to listen to your body as we go through our practice today. Only do what's comfortable for you and come out if you feel like you need to. So let's find just some organic movements here. So maybe it's C shapes, figure eight, cat cow. Maybe you move in and out of child's pose. Just do what your body is asking for. Listening to that inner teacher. Only you know what feels good for you in your body. All right. Gently making your way back to center, back into your tabletop pose. Okay, and then we'll do what we did yesterday. Let's bring the right leg back. Toes come to the floor. And we're going to rock back and forth here, feeling a bit of a stretch in the calf. If you want to, you can always stay back in that stretch. Let's cross the right foot over towards the left side, looking over the left shoulder towards the toes. Gently come back to your tabletop pose. And then we'll come over to the other side. Left foot comes back, rocking back and forth. And then whenever you're ready, crossing that foot over towards the right side, looking over towards your right foot. Inhale, coming back to center, back into your tabletop pose. Okay, we're going to curl our toes under, sending our hips up and back behind us, downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. As much of a bend in your knees as you need, so there's no discomfort in your low back or the backs of your thighs. Gripping your fingers into the earth. And the inner elbows looking towards each other. Okay, so we started experimenting with this, I think last week or the week before. Let's come up to a forward fold, but a little bit different today. So walking or tiptoeing, excuse me, your feet up toward your hands. As you start to come forward, feel the weight move into your hands. Try not to collapse in on your shoulders. Push the earth away from you. As much of a bend in your knees as you need. So you're just putting a little bit of weight here into your hands as you walk forward. Or just come to a forward fold. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Let's bring our hands behind our heads, clasping the elbows in by the sides. And if it feels good for you, maybe tuck your chin. So feeling a little bit of a stretch here along the back of your neck. And know that everything I'm saying is just an offer. You can always come into a different variation of the poses if it feels better for you. So perhaps you sway. Okay, releasing your hands down towards the earth. And let's take a big step back with the right foot, dropping the right knee to the earth. We're going to find a little bit of movement here. So a lunge pranayama. So if you use blocks and you wish to bring the earth up closer to you, feel free to grab the blocks. We're just going to find some movement here. So coming back, walking yourself back, extending that front leg, activating the left foot, and then walking forward. As you come forward, make sure your knee doesn't go past your toes, but find a way to sink and settle. Feel that stretch along the front of the right thigh. And just moving at your own pace. If you need to, you can stay up high in this half splits, or you can come low. All right, let's come forward one more time. Sink and settle here into this low lunge. Find your breath. Okay, we're going to find a little bit of a twist. So right hand comes to the earth underneath the shoulder. Bringing your left hand to your thigh, find length in your spine as you turn. Perhaps the left arm reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, left hand comes to the earth. Let's come into our tabletop pose and into downward dog. Okay, so we're going to make our way into a forward fold. Maybe you just want to make your way straight to forward fold. Can't talk today. Or maybe you follow me. So we'll come into three-legged dog. Right foot reaches up towards the sky. Step the right foot forward, just one footprint in front of the left. Three-legged dog, other side, left foot reaches up towards the sky. Step that foot in front of the right. Keep going. So same thing, notice when you come forward, when you put weight into your hands, try not to collapse your shoulders. Keep the shoulders rolled back and down, strengthen the upper back. Once you make your way to a forward fold, relax and soften. All right, inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs. Draw the navel in. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. On your next exhale, we're going to sit back into our chair pose. Hips come back, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. Someone said they like this pose. Not everybody does, but does it matter? No. It's a practice. Hold your chair a few more rounds of breath. If you don't have any shoulder issues, perhaps you clasp your hands behind you, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Ready? We're all going to come into forward fold, hands behind you or towards the earth. Perhaps you sway from side to side. All right, releasing your hands down towards the earth. We're going to take a big step back here with the left foot, lowering the left knee to the earth. If you wish, find your blocks. And find the lunge pranayama, walking your blocks back. Activate the right foot as you come back, and then walking forward. And just moving at your own pace. All right, so the next time you come forward into that low lunge, sink and settle. And breathe into it. So Ujjayi breath. Most of you were here yesterday. Our Ujjayi breath is breathing as if we are fogging up a window or whispering. So that constriction along the back of the throat. See if you can find that Ujjayi breath. We'll come into a twist. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Right hand to the right thigh. Find length in your spine as you turn. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. I realize I meant to ask all of you before we started class if you understood what I meant yesterday by the Ujjayi breath. I'll ask later. Beautiful. Right hand comes to the earth. Let's come into our tabletop pose and into downward dog. Okay, we're going to play a little bit here. Ready? Our next pose is plank pose. We're going to shift forward into a plank. So you find your variation. Knees are up, knees are down, whatever you need. Draw the navel in. Push your body away from the earth. Grip your fingers into the earth. Okay, so either if your knees are on the floor, come back into child's pose. If your knees are up off the floor, come back into downward dog. Shift your weight forward. Once again, plank pose, hold. And shift your weight back. One more time, shift forward, plank pose. We're going to practice our chaturanga arms for our crow later. So shift your weight onto your toes or just forward a little bit. Tuck the elbows in by your sides. You're going to keep them nice and close. Maybe you drop your knees and slowly lower. Elbows stay close. All right, so baby cobra, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Tops of your feet push down towards the earth. And exhale to lower. So maybe you tried this variation of baby cobra again, or perhaps you bring your arms out towards the sides. Tent your fingers on the earth. And then shoulders roll back and down. Lift your heart. A little bit different variation of a baby cobra. And exhale, lower. One more time, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. Before we come up, let's bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. All right, making your way into your tabletop pose. Curling your toes under, downward dog. Okay, what kind of variation can you come into to come into a forward fold? So whatever feels good for you. Maybe you take your time. Maybe you just get up and come to the front of the mat. Forward fold. All right, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, sit back into your chair. Shoulders roll back and down. Slight tuck of the tailbone. So let's find a bit of a variation here on our chair pose. We'll find an open arm twist. Arms come out to the side, turning towards the right side. And take a quick peek at your knees. See what's happening with that left knee. If it's popping forward, roll the left hip back. Ooh, maybe sit a little lower in your chair. Inhale back to chair pose. Hands come behind you if you wish. Clasp your hands opposite clasp from what you would naturally do. Exhale, forward fold, or arms can dangle. All right, releasing your hands down towards the earth. So if you have a block, feel free to grab the block to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. If you don't have a block, but you feel like you're not going to touch the earth, you can always bring your hand to your shin instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend into the right knee. Right hand comes to the block, the earth, or your shin. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. All right, so maybe you stay here, or perhaps you send that left hand back behind your low back, palm faces away, reaching towards that right thigh. Okay, let's switch to the other side. So left hand comes down towards the earth, bend into the left knee. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Maybe that right hand comes behind you. Maybe it finds its way towards the top of the left thigh. Exhale to lower, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. This time, arms come out to the side. Reverse swan dive up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands come to heart center. All right, fallen tree. So our fallen tree, I'm going to show you a couple of different options for your hands. So hands can be heart center. They can be by your sides if that's more comfortable for you. If it's in your body, maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows, or even more so if you don't have any shoulder issues, perhaps you find a reverse prayer. Okay, I'm going to come back, so I'm not going to hit the wall. So our fallen tree pose is kind of like, almost like a warrior three, but a little bit different. So we're going to shift our weight into our left foot. Find a place to focus on that isn't moving. I'm going to change my hands. Okay, and then the right foot's going to come back behind you. Toes point down towards the floor, so almost touching the floor. And then you're going to start to tip forward. As much of a bend as you need in that front leg. The goal is to send the right foot up towards the sky. So only come over as far as you feel comfortable. If you need to, hands can always come down to blocks or the earth, more like a standing splits. But if you can, arms are up off the earth. So before everybody came on, we were talking about how sometimes I need to use the wall so I don't fall. It's okay, we all fall. All right, 2 more rounds of breath. Let's come in to a mountain pose. Shake out your legs. If you can't laugh at yourself for falling over, try to do it next time. Try and laugh next time. Okay, so shifting your weight into your right foot. Hands come wherever is comfortable. Left foot's going to come back behind you. This could be your fallen tree. Maybe this is where you stay. And your exhale, start to fold forward. Notice the difference from one side to the other. Maybe this is the easier side. Maybe it's harder. Two more rounds of breath here. Slowly making your way back up if you can. Back into mountain pose, shake it all out. All right, that was fallen tree. Making your way towards the front of your mat once again, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Mountain pose. Inhale, extended mountain, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale to fold. Let's take a big step back with the right foot, and left foot follows. Find your variation of a plank pose. So nice and strong body here. Push away from the earth. Pull the belly button in. Shift your weight forward slightly. Knees to the earth. Tuck the elbows nice and tight. Slowly come down. Once your elbows come parallel to your ribs, release down towards the earth. All right, so maybe it's baby cobra here, or Sphinx pose. Forearms to the earth, elbows underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and down. Energetically pull your arms towards you. All right. Whenever you're ready, making your way into your tabletop pose. And then find some movement here. Cat, cow, C shape, whatever feels right. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow crunch, just to kind of show us what it's like to draw the belly button in around the spine and to activate the core so that when we play with crow pose, we'll be ready for it. So let's bring the right arm out in front, roll the right shoulder back and down your spine. Left leg comes along behind you. Okay, we're going to bring that foot up off the earth. Find your balance. Notice what's going on with your left hand. See if you can grip the fingers into the earth. Push up. So push your body away from the earth. Draw the belly button in. And on your exhale, round your spine. Knee and elbow come towards each other. Pull everything in round the spine. Then come back to your balancing cat. Arm and leg come straight. Exhale to round. Inhale, balancing cat. Last one. Exhale to round. Pull it in. And then back to tabletop. So other side, right hand grips into the earth. Try not to collapse down. Push away from the earth. Left arm comes out in front. Right leg comes back. Find your balance. Look down at the earth. On your exhale, round your spine, knee and elbow meet. Ooh. Took a quick peek at the screen and almost fell. Inhale, balancing cat. Exhale, round. Draw the belly button in, arch your back. Inhale, balancing cat. Last one. Exhale, round. Inhale, balancing cat. Exhale, tabletop. All right, let's take a child's pose. So any variation of a child's pose that feels good for you. If your shoulders maybe feel a little tired, bring your hands back by your feet, palms face up, allowing the shoulders to round down towards the earth. If you need to, grab a block or a blanket to place under the forehead. I can't come down or my microphone hits the ground. Find your breath. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Can you honor yourself where you are today in this space and in life? All right, let's come back to our tabletop pose. Curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. Okay, so you're going to find your variation of a squat here. So feet are going to come out towards the sides of the mat, so wider than hip distance apart. Toes maybe point out if that's more comfortable for you. And then your squat might be up high. Your squat can come low. Maybe you find blocks to place underneath your sits bones into your squat. All right, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Find a couple rounds of breath here. Allowing your hips to sink and settle. From here, maybe you round your spine, bringing your arms out in front. Tuck your chin. Come back. Maybe do that a couple more times. Send the hands away around the spine. Tuck the chin. Tuck the tailbone. And come back. Last one. Or maybe you stay in your squat. Maybe you take a break if you need to. Come back. Okay. Let's come into a forward fold, turning your feet so they're parallel to the sides of the mat and fold. Little break for the legs, break for the hips. And let's do this actually before we come into our crow pose, walking your feet towards each other so they're hip distance apart. Inhale, come into a halfway lift, flat back. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. And then let's all bring our hands up to our thighs. We're going to find some cat-cow here. So round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Then move in the opposite direction. Tailbone comes up towards the sky. Shoulders roll back and down. Moving with your breath at your own pace. Okay, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Again, heel toeing feet out towards the sides of the mat. Turn the toes out. Maybe you find a squat and stay there, or perhaps you move into squat first and then we'll make our way into a crow pose. So we're going to find those chaturanga arms if you're coming into crow. You can always take a break too if you want to. Maybe you find another pose that feels good for you as we explore crow a little bit. All right, so in our crow pose, chaturanga arms. So remember earlier, elbows come by the sides. We want to have a bit of a bend in the elbows here. So everybody's a little different to come into it. I like to kind of tip forward into it. Some people like to put their hands down. Come in nice and close, bend the elbows. Knees come up as high up on your arms as you can. Tuck the elbows in by your sides. You want to look forward. So look beyond your hands. And then round your spine. Squeeze your inner thighs. Activate the core. And maybe one foot comes up. And then the other. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. Some days it also depends on what you're wearing. because sometimes it's slippery. All right, 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. Okay, and then let's all come into tabletop. Gently shifting your weight forward and come down onto the earth. Ooh, 2 more poses. I almost forgot about one of them. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Find any back bend that feels comfortable for you. Find a couple rounds of breath. Gently release. Okay, come back up onto your knees, tabletop. And we're going to find a variation here of hero. So we've actually found this before one other time. So you're coming to kneeling, any way that's comfortable for you. We're going to bring the right hand down by the side, bring the left hand up, and then perhaps send your hips up and forward. Maybe use a block if you need to. Maybe you don't come up very high. On your exhale, come down. And then other side, lift the hips. Exhale, come down. It's more like camel. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, come down. Last one, lift. And come on down. So our hero pose, we did come into a variation yesterday. We'll come into that same one today. So if you have blocks or a folded blanket and you wish to use it or use them, feel free to use them. You're going to come toes together, knees apart. You can sit on the blocks if you need to. Maybe this is as much of a stretch as you need for your front thighs. Okay. So variation here. Let's bring the hands back if you can reach. Open the heart up towards the sky. Shoulders roll back and down. Maybe you start to slowly come back. Pay attention to the sensation here in your knees, especially. Maybe you come down onto one forearm and then the other. Some people come down all the way to their backs. You may need to move your feet apart in order to do that, but be careful with your knees. Be very gentle. Find your breath. Whatever variation you are in, honor your creativity, your inner fire, your divine spark, and the mystery of life. One more round of breath, and then slowly coming out. We'll all come into a tabletop pose. And then making your way to seated. All right, Marichi, last one. So I'm gonna give you a couple of options for this pose. Let's start here. Right foot's going to come out and we're going to hug the left knee in. Find your sits bones. So that comfortable place to sit. Okay. So for Marichi pose, this is where we find that kind of bind this way. I'm going to offer you something else. If your shoulders don't want the bind, perhaps you drop the left knee to the earth and then come into a forward fold instead. Activate the right foot. If you want to try the bind, left foot is on the earth. We're going to send the left hand forward, turn the palm out, Send the left hand behind your low back. Right hand comes back behind you. Perhaps you clasp the hands. Inhale to lengthen, or maybe you grab a hold of your shirt, sorry, and exhale, fold towards the front leg. So two options. One is a single leg forward fold. The other one is Marichi pose. On your next inhale, unravel, come on back up. And switching over to the other side. So maybe it's the single leg forward fold, activate the left foot before you come forward, or maybe Marichi pose. Find your sits bones. For Marichi, right hand reaches up high, lean forward, send the right hand through. Allowing that right arm to maybe even just come out to the side. That could be as far as you go. Perhaps you find that bind, or maybe you grab a hold of your shirt somewhere. Inhale to lengthen the spine again, and exhale to fold towards the front leg. Take deep inhales, long, slow exhales, or find that ujjayi breath. That constriction at the back of your throat. Ocean sounding breath. One more round of breath here. Gently come back up to center. All right, let's come into a twist. Let's see. Bring our feet into easy seated pose or crisscross applesauce if that feels good for you. Or maybe you have one leg in front of the other. Maybe you'd rather be in Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, whatever feels good for you. So nice gentle twist today. Bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale to turn. So turn just as far as you feel comfortable going. Then perhaps with every inhale you lengthen, and with every exhale maybe you start to turn a little more. Be gentle with yourself. While you are here, I invite you to feel present, alert, relaxed, and anchored in the here and now. On your next inhale, lengthening your spine, and exhale, coming back to center. We're going to find that on the other side. The left hand comes to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, turn. Notice if you're still breathing, or are you holding your breath? Feel the expansion in your body as you inhale. As you exhale, maybe you turn a little further, or maybe you see it in your mind's eye. On your next inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, come back to center. Shavasana, or any final resting pose that feels comfortable for you on the earth. Maybe you're on your side body, on your front body. Maybe there's something else you need to find in your body before coming into Shavasana. Once you make your way there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. So we have 6 cards today. All right. Move quickly. Some opportunities require quick responses. Use your instincts and don't be afraid to move fast on your hunches. How about maybe let's not second guess our intuition. Create. Everyone has the ability to create a life of you. It is your birthright to manifest your desires and the life you wish to experience. Play. Reconnect with your inner child. Find a sense of whimsy and wonder in all that you do. Pass it on. Help someone else when they are in need. Sometimes helping others is the quickest way to help yourself. Clarify your desire. Be clear about what you want. Ask from the deepest joy in your heart, and things will shift when you are clear and radiant. And last, forgive and release. You are stronger for carrying love and forgiveness rather than anger. Keep the lessons learned without holding on to past hurts. So maybe your card resonated with you, or maybe someone else's card resonated. Take what feels right for you from this class and leave the rest behind. Gently bringing your awareness back. Perhaps making some small movements in your fingers and toes. Maybe you take a big stretch. In your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. I invite you to take deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. As you inhale, inhale peace, love, and compassion. Remember, the two most important things you did during our practice today were show up and breathe. Everything else was practice and exploration. May you go in peace, love, joy, and gratitude. Thank you for coming here this evening and sharing your practice with me and with each other. Have a beautiful evening.